Okay, so I am currently with Ipen. I am training in modeling and pageantry, but my first love is just playing sports here and there and computer games. I was 16 and I was brought to Miss Manila 2017 and I was 16 years old. So what I had done was, it was completely out of my comfort zone, but I wanted to try something different because I was very shy and stayed within just within my little bubble. And I didn't get to do much, but once I entered that and I got to practice and be comfortable with myself, within the way I walk, present myself, and how I carry myself, it definitely helped me with my own confidence and how I would present in schools. And it definitely made me more comfortable as a woman as I was growing up. And in Miss Manila, I won second runner-up, and I won Best Internal. So it was a way for me to get within it and then improve myself. And then from there, Tito Edgar, part of Ipen, he brought me into the group, and from there I brought a really big family, and I had met so many beautiful girls, and I made such great friendships. And that is my next journey is onto Mutya in Pilipinas, which I was supposed to go to this year, but it was canceled, so I'll have my own time to practice and focus on my studies, because I am currently in third year at Ryerson University for Environment and Urban Sustainability. So it's a little more heavy now, but with the pandemic, I got time to really focus and work hard on my studies and just improve my education on environment with in correlation to my advocacy for So my advocacy for that is definitely environmental education for youth and education within the Filipino tourism and Canadian tourism hand in hand. And from there, I just want to implement good studies and programs to build upon and provide charity works for those in need.
So by the end, when you start talking, let's talk about it in the last segment.
Last segment, okay.
Because that's like the update. The last one is the update.
Okay.
Like, what are you doing now? Are you doing other things like that?
Update.
So basically, the first one is the introduction. Just remember, it's introduction. Second one is the struggle, like the growing process. So,
Ooh, okay.
so like what was the growing process? Then the third one is like more of an update. Like, are you doing other things? Like you said, like you were gonna join something, but it didn't happen because of COVID, right? It's kind of like that.
Okay.
So yeah, first one is just introduction. More of you, and then how did it influence you to join? Like, boyfriend will like think like, oh, I don't know, like somebody guy's gonna message you, like So it's kind of like on like what made you.
My name is Margaret and Rodrigo. I'm 19 years old, born and raised here in Toronto, Canada, and I am your Mutya in Pilipinas, Canada 2020. So my first introduction to pageantry and modeling started off when I had my first fashion show when I was 14. I was a little baby, wearing my little 2-inch heels, but it was a really nice experience to work with Filipino designers. I think it was Tala Mindanao. So it was really nice to see the hectic and busyness behind the scenes, and I was just like intrigued with it. I loved it. So from there, my friend Ate Jade, she was 17, and I was 16 years old at the time. And from there, it was a different experience because this time I'm the one on stage, I'm the one talking. It's not just a fashion show and I'm just walking. So it was really nice to portray myself in that light of, this is my education, this is how I speak, and this is how I walk, and this is my designs that my nana made. So it was really nice to have a supportive group from both sides, dad and my mom side. And it was just a really nice experience. And from there, I won second runner-up and best internal. And from there, my Tito Edgar introduced me to Ipen. And then as the years went on, that's when I got into my current state of Mutya in Pilipinas, Canada 2020. So along the side of pageantry and modeling, I am obsessed with in the environment and just taking care of it. And I feel like I had that passion when I was in grade 7. And we'd have Earth Day, and then we would collect garbage from the ground. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, I hate it. And I'll just be like, I love this, I love this. I want to pick up all the garbage that I can. But it was just a really fun time. And from there, I really wanted to make sure my own carbon footprint was the lowest it could be. So into my current studies at Ryerson University, I am in my 3rd year.
Okay, let's not talk. Let's talk about it in the end. So basically, let's talk like beauty pageants or something.
Okay.
Okay, so that.
So from my pageant experience, just from Miss Manila 2017, I really liked the feeling of being on stage and having people listen to what I wanted to say. And I felt that at school as well, when I could actually portray myself and present something really nicely. I'm like, I want to do more of this. And then once I met more like-minded people like me with wanting to portray their advocacy and wanting to express themselves in the best light, I wanted to continue through, and that's when I wanted to really pursue being an Ipen, because of course I can go out and leave whenever I can, but at the same time, this is something I wanted to do for myself. Like, no one would tell me to do it. But aside from that, my support system, my mom and my dad, they would always take care of me with that. They would go gown shopping with me, even my dad. But from there, my dad would always drive me. He always films my stuff and he promotes it. And my mom, she always tells me to keep my mental health correct and make sure this is for myself. I'm not doing anything for anyone else. And my little brother, he always tells me when I'm looking a little off, and he takes care of me, like, okay, let me zip this up, let me tie your shoes. So it's really sweet, and it's really comforting to have someone support me in that light, because I know it's definitely hard to show yourself off like that, and so people can take it negatively. But in those terms, I just have to remain true to myself and carry the Holy Spirit throughout me, instead of keeping it into a negative mindset of like, oh, I just want to show off, I just want to step down on other people. Like, you'll never go far if you believe that and you follow through with that. And so when I've met some guys here and there, some people wouldn't like it. They'd be like, oh, it's just like too much attention on you. But then it's like, it's attention in a good way, because I'm talking about my environment and how I want to pursue that, but also I'm also portraying like a Filipino clothing when I'm on stage. And thank goodness I found a really sweet guy. And he
Yeah, next one.
Okay, next one. Okay.
Yeah, so like, who influenced you the most? Like, who influenced you in pageantry? Yeah. Like, maybe Ipen or your mom or dad, or because they support you or whatever. Yeah, but at the end of the day, who really influenced you? Is it Pia Words back? Is it Capture Great? Kind of like that. Yeah.
So my love for pageantry definitely came from the support that I got from my first show when I was a little baby. But I remember going back to the Philippines in December 2018 to January 2019, and that was when Capture Great won. Oh my goodness. When you see the support, it just wants to make you to continue through with it and to show off your country like that. And as a Filipino Canadian, it's gonna be a little iffy because we're from both nations, but to connect those two is just so beautiful, and to see the tourism from both and to support, especially with similar worldviews, it could definitely it just shows their deep connection. And so I can say that Capture Great is one of my important influences. But also just to portray myself and to carry like that lovely like womanhood that my mom and my nanais have and my titas. It's just nice to show that, just to be so graceful, and that's something that I didn't think of starting, but once I grew up and now I'm 19, that's what I really think about. And another thing would just be education-wise. I'm trying to education-wise, because I know that these beauty queens are not just a pretty face, and it's really nice to see that they carry so much achievements on their back. It's not just a surface level thing. So even that, I just want to show myself off as that type of woman as well, because I know that beauty doesn't last long physically. It's just what you carry inside your heart and what you express out. And I found that within my Ipen girls, my sweeties. So it was really nice to have them uplift me, even when I had my cancellation of Mutya, or I couldn't go to a certain place because I think I was supposed to go to Brazil once, but I think that's when we had the Amazonian fire, so that's when I was a little worried and a little down, but they motivated me to continue working, and then we practiced together all the time. We always film each other and put it on Instagram and stuff like that. It was really motivating to have a tight-knit group of girls like that, because it could definitely be, could be like disheartening when you don't have that, especially when you have girls like that around you. So it's just important to have that friendship, connection, and the support, and to always hold it close to your heart.
That was first segment. That was great. That was really good. So second segment, we're gonna talk about struggles, right? So like, I'll give you an example. Like, why is it so hard to join a beauty pageant?
Mm-hmm.
And then like, what is the biggest challenge? Like that. What's the grueling process? Because you guys have the training there, and that's the reason why I know the other ones. Because like I've seen them posted in the stories, and you have to walk. You guys have to walk a certain way, kind of like that. And then like, what did you battle any like mental problems and stuff? And the boyfriend, like, did your boyfriend get married of it? So kind of like that.
Okay.
So let's talk about like, why is it hard to join beauty pageant? Because some people they're scared to join because they think they don't have the confidence, or they're not. Some people think they're not pretty enough, but at the end of the day, anyone can join. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
So for pageantry and how people say that anyone can join, I definitely agree with that, because as long as you have your own strength within yourself and your direct mindset to continue through, like, you can go far. And I remember it was my first fashion show when I was 14, and some of the things didn't fit me, so I was just a little disheartened. And they're like, oh, what did they call me? I'm not getting to get skinnier. And I'm like, oh, I'm 14, I'm still a baby. So it was just those where I wanted to grow and be my most fit self, but also my most healthy mindset, because especially at 14, you can definitely bring yourself down when you think, oh my gosh, I'm too fat, oh my gosh, I'm not beautiful enough. So it was just a different process of where I'd be like, Lord, help me, get me through this day, or get me through the show, make sure I don't twist my ankles. So it definitely helped me with my faith and talking to my parents one-on-one. So as I got older and I joined more fashion shows, that's when I got to see different body types within modeling industry, and it's really nice to see, and it's also a hard process too to compare yourself, but that is also a time when you need to be sure within your heart, like, I'm beautiful in my own way, and these women are their own flowers. Like, I see it as that, like, flowers don't compete, they just grow and bloom on their own. So that's something that I really I want to remember, especially growing up in the light of old people are watching you. They're taking your measurements and they're writing it down, and they might compare it, especially those that don't really understand the mental health that can affect you when you are being ruled down of your sizes and stuff like that. So that was another thing that that got to me at a certain point. But when you take care of yourself mentally and you're eating well, I think that's what exudes like your own happiness and your own glow. And in pageantry, that's when you compare your walks to everyone else, and it's a little worrisome because you can be so hard on yourself. I have so many videos of when I would practice at Ryerson's gym or their studio. Every single video, I'm like, oh my goodness, why did I do that? Why did I do this and that? And it's like, you just see the process, but it's like, just be patient with yourself, and you learn from other people. You don't be jealous of them. You get inspiration from them, and it's just a way to just grow on your own instead of, like, the only competition you have is within yourself. It's only you.
So what's like the most grueling process of like being a pageant? Like, did you, like you said, you walk, did you do other things that like kind of like got you in, like the most out of all of them? What was it?
For another hardship that I found within pageantry was the education within it, because you have to understand the struggles another nation is going through. I remember when there was a problem in the Philippines while a transgender woman was entering the washroom, a woman's washroom in the Philippines, and then there was a lot of backlash with that, saying you're not a natural woman. That that's something that you have to understand, that within Canada we uplift transgender or LGBTQ community, and you have to understand that it's different in different nations, but there's also a time when we can both grow together and share those ideas of they deserve the most basic rights of just going to the washroom, they deserve the respect and love. And so having the education within that, and also preparing for the question and answer is the most grueling part, because it's like you have 30 seconds or a minute just to express everything you want. So it's like your mind races, but in that time it's just like, breathe. Let's go, 1, 2, 3, let's have our points out. But it's also being genuine, being authentic, and that's what I found. When I was training the Miss Manila 2019 group, when I was emceeing and I was mentoring them, that's what I found within some of my girls. I told them, number 1, please be authentic, please be yourselves. So I asked them like basic questions, what's your favorite book, or like what's your favorite subject at school, and just to see them like ooze out their own characteristics of like, oh my gosh, I love this book because of this and that. And that's what I want to see on stage. And for example, where would you take a tourist in Toronto? And then when they say the authentic stuff, that's when the real them comes out. And that was really nice to see. And I know for sure I'd have to remember that information for when I go out to the Philippines. And I just know I have to be true to myself and just keep composure.
And then the last question is, was it a struggle? Like what does your boyfriend think about you doing that? So yeah.
Okay. So with having a partner and being in the spotlight, it can be hard if they don't support you in that way. And sadly, I've gone through that where they get very jealous, and it's not a good thing to feel, because it's like, this is my one love. Like I love pageantry, I love modeling, but also like I love this person. But then when you see them in that way of getting mad at you for a passion that you have, it also questions like, wait, do I love the person, or wait, do I really love pageantry? And that's just something that you can't deal with. You can't deal with that mental conflict. So with something like that, you just have to remain true to yourself. Remain true to yourself before you have them. It's just really nice to see that you have someone supporting you and they trust you with those things, and that you trust them, that like this is something that I want to do for myself, and that they will be along on the sidelines but supporting you no matter what.
Okay. Yeah. That's it for second segment. So just update. Like you said you're supposed to join this year, but you got canceled because of COVID, and are you still do you have plans on like collaborating with, because most of the time when someone wins, they go to Philippines and help out, right? So it's like, do you have a plan of like doing that with the pageant, or just by yourself? It doesn't matter. So just big update. And then in the end, do you recommend this to other young girls because there's a lot of people say, no, you don't have to do that. This is actually great. You do it out of confidence and you help out other people.
Yes. Update.
Yeah, just update. Just like I'm supposed to do a pageant.
Okay. So I am still currently your Mutya in Pilipinas Canada 2020. We might compete next year. We'll see. But I know for sure they wanted to take care of the girls first instead of sending them off. I know the borders are closed. So that was, I know their main priority is take care of the residents and the people in the Philippines. I know it's much harder there with a much denser population and less land space. So I know I just wanted them to take care, especially international countries. That's just going to be extremely hard. So I'm like, okay, more time for me to prep. They might expect a lot of me, so I gotta practice more. So it's just it's like a good thing to balance. And another update, I'm currently with Ipen, and we do radio shows here and there. We do that online, which is so cute, because then we get to see each other after a while, and then we get to update each other, so it's really nice. We get to collaborate with other girls in Ipen, and some former misses, like some former other competitors and other people from Ipen, which is really nice, and the little kids too, so it's really sweet to see. And
Do you have like, do you see yourself like collaboration to help out? Like, do you have a plan on 2021 to go to the Philippines or go to other countries to like maybe a mission trip or something? Do you have any plans like for next year or something? Or you're planning to like maybe kind of like that? Not, it doesn't have to be like someone's your plan before, or it doesn't have to, but what you picture yourself in the future, something like that.
So my vision for next year would be no more COVID, but also going to the Philippines for Mutya, and just traveling. Hopefully we can, but traveling around, going to Lancaon. But prior to that, I really hope I can see my family. I have some in Manila. I have some in Nauhan, Mindoro, and I have some in San Nicolas, Pangasinan. So going up north and south. So I really want to see them, hopefully. And I would really love to work with environmental education programs in the Philippines afterwards or prior, just to go hand in hand with my advocacy, because there's only so much you can do when you say, but when you do, that's when it's really worth it. So that's what I really wanted to do there. And after like a few years in advance, I know I have to finish my school first. So I'll be done by the time I'm 21, 22. So I know I can still go to pageantry. So as long as I am mentally stable and I am financially stable, I'd love to go around and compete more, because it's a different type of experience. You really can't get that anywhere else when you portray yourself and you have your talents, and then you show off your walk and you carry someone's hardworking gown, and to express yourself in that way. I think it's a beautiful experience, and to have beautiful friendships from international beauties. I think that's insane, just to have a friend in Australia, but another one in Japan. It's really cool.
So, do you recommend this to to young girls? Then after that, just shout. Yeah, that's it. This is over.
I would love to recommend pageantry to young girls. I know they have some for boys as well. And to anyone that wants to join modeling pageantry, just go for it. As long as you are right within your heart and you want to go further and you want to uplift others along the way, I think it's a beautiful experience that you can't get from anywhere else. And I remember in Ipen, when we would train the little girls, you see how outgoing they are and how well spoken they are. It's like, oh my goodness, I wish I had that when I was a kid. So it's just something that I would really recommend. As long as you're not forcing your kid to, it would just be a beautiful way to see your child grow, and to see them in a different type of spotlight as they're expressing themselves in the most authentic way, but wearing beautiful clothes, wearing their hair all fancy, but also maybe showcasing their talents. It's a really nice way to bring your kid into a different light other than school, and it's nice to see them be confident within school, within sports, because of pageantry and modeling.
That's it. And just give a shout out, say thank you to everyone who helped you. That's it. And that's it.
Wait, what's the name of this? Is Filipino
TV.
Filipino TV.
Yes.
Thank you so much to Filipino TV for having me, and for James for bringing me here, my dad and my mom for supporting me always, and my little brother. He's not little, but he's not new. He's the same height as me. And to my friends and for everyone that cheers me on along the sidelines, my family from the Philippines that like and comment always. They always say laban, laban. I love it so much. But thank you so much to everyone that sees the best always. Thank you.
So after I won my pageant, I gained a lot of opportunities to reach out to charitable organizations, different charities, and really work with them, visit the people they're supporting, really see the work that they're doing. And I was so happy to be able to distribute goods, be a part of their mission. And today I still continue to help some of the charities that I met and encountered along the way, specifically ANCOP. My parents are coordinators for ANCOP, so I still help with their events. I know it's a really big charity that's close to my heart.
So I am still currently your Mutya ng Pilipinas Canada 2020. We might compete next year, we'll see, but I know for sure they wanted to take care of the girls first instead of sending them off. I know the borders are closed, So that was, I know their main priority is take care of the residents and the people in the Philippines. I know it's much harder there with a much denser population and less land space. So I know I just wanted them to take care, especially international countries. That's just going to be extremely hard. So I'm like, okay, more time for me to prep. They might expect a lot of me, so I gotta practice more. So it's just it's like a good thing to balance. And another update, I'm currently with Ipen, and we do radio shows here and there. We do that online, which is so cute, because then we get to see each other after a while, and then we get to update each other, so that's really nice. We get to collaborate with other girls in Ipen and some former misses, like some former other competitors and other people from Ipen, which is really nice, and the little kids too, so it's really sweet to see.
I think also doing charity work was very humbling for me to see all these different people in different situations. It really opened my eyes and opened my heart, I guess, to really feel like there's so much more that I need to do. Winning a pageant is nothing compared to what these people experience, and I need to do all that I can with all my resources to help and give back.
So from my pageant experience, just from Miss Manila 2017, I really liked the feeling of being on stage and having people listen to what I wanted to say. And I felt that at school as well, when I could actually portray myself and present something really nicely. And I'm like, I want to do more of this. And then once I met more like-minded people like me with wanting to portray their advocacy and wanting to express themselves in the best light, I wanted to continue through, and that's when I wanted to really pursue being an Ipen, because of course I can go out and leave whenever I can, but at the same time, this is something I wanted to do for myself. Like, no one would tell me to do it. But aside from that, my support system, my mom and my dad, they would always take care of me with that. They would go gown shopping with me. Even my dad, he would like get me discounts. He's like, oh, can we get $50 off, no tax? I'm like, thank you, Dad. But from there, my dad would always drive me. He always films my stuff and he promotes it. And my mom, she always tells me to keep my mental health correct and make sure this is for myself. I'm not doing anything for anyone else. And my little brother, he always tells me when I'm looking a little off, and he takes care of me, like, okay, let me zip this up, let me tie your shoes. So it's really sweet, and it's really comforting to have someone support me in that light, because I know it's definitely hard to show yourself off like that, and some people can take it negatively. But in those terms, I just have to remain true to myself and carry the Holy Spirit throughout me, instead of keeping it into a negative mindset, or like, oh, I just want to show off. I just want to step down on other people. Like, you'll never go far if you believe that and you follow through with that. And so when I've met some guys here and there, some people wouldn't like it. They'd be like, oh, it's just like too much attention on you. But then it's like, it's attention in a good way, because I'm talking about my environment and how I want to pursue that. But also I'm also portraying like Filipino clothing when I'm on stage. And thank goodness I found a really sweet guy.
So I know that everyone has their own interests, their own preferences, especially when it comes to pageants. But I would say to any young girls that if you're really curious or interested in joining a pageant, but you're not fully there, I want to encourage you to just go out there, take that leap of faith, take that risk, because there are so many amazing things to gain from it, so many amazing experiences. Like I talked about earlier, you can do so many things with charities. You can gain confidence. You can really build yourself up, and that will help you in the future, for your future careers, or just making you feel more comfortable in your own skin. So it's definitely a very good thing to do. If you're interested in it, definitely go after it.
So yes, I do recommend pageantry for children and kids. I feel like it is a great way to start off young with your communication skills and confidence. Pageantry has really helped me break out of my shell. Like when I was younger, my parents actually told me like, you were so mahinhin and quiet. But when I joined modeling and pageantry, I was able to communicate and interact with other girls and boys too. And I feel like it is something that is very fun and something that people should try out.
I would love to recommend pageantry to young girls. I know they have some for boys as well. And to anyone that wants to join modeling pageantry, just go for it. As long as you are right within your heart and you want to go further and you want to uplift others along the way, I think it's a beautiful experience that you can't get from anywhere else. And I remember in Ipen when we would train the little girls, you see how outgoing they are and how well-spoken they are. It's like, oh my goodness, I wish I had that when I was a kid. So it's just something that I would really recommend. As long as you're not forcing your kid to, it would just be a beautiful way to see your child grow and to see them in a different type of spotlight as they're expressing themselves in the most authentic way, but wearing like beautiful clothes, wearing their hair all fancy, but also maybe showcasing their talent. It's a really nice way to bring your kid into a different light other than school, and it's nice to see them be confident within school, within sports, because of pageantry and modeling.
I would say when it comes to pageants, it's never really a lose situation. Even if you don't win the crown or a title or an award at the pageant, you still gain so much. So I definitely recommend for anyone interested, go ahead, join. There's so many different pageants out there. There are ones that promote charities specifically. There are ones that promote your own culture specifically. I just want to thank my parents for always supporting me no matter what, driving me to all the rehearsals, all the practices, getting my dresses, helping me fit into those dresses. It's been a really great experience, and it's all thanks to them.
And that's it.
I just want to give a shout out to my mom and my dad. I love you, Mama and Papa. You guys are my biggest fans. My mom is always like the best stage mom. My dad is always the best photographer. I love you both so much. I just want to say thank you also to Tito Edgar and Tito Jam for always supporting me. Thank you to my relatives and friends. And thank you to the Ipen parents also for always being there behind my back.
Thank you so much to Filipino TV for having me, and for James for bringing me here, my dad and my mom for supporting me always, and my little brother. He's not little, but he's my little brother. He's the same height as me. And to my friends and family that support me so much, and my sweet boyfriend, and for everyone that cheers me on along the sidelines, my family from the Philippines that like and comment always. They always say, Laban, Laban. I love it so much. But